We're into the top 20 of our best/favorite Final Fantasy songs of all time ever made until 16 comes out, and we see what makes the list from that because we all love Soken in this house, especially the three of us who are big-time 14 fans. However, the top 20 sort of represents a jump. Not to say that the things in the bottom 5 of the top 25 weren't good or didn't have multiple votes in most cases, but the point totals kind of shot up starting with this number, and I think the top 20 in particular really holds up well. I'm not throwing shade at the previous picks. I just think everything up here is pretty much iconic at minimum.
I'm only throwing shade at Doug's pick.
That's right.
Hold on. Bye, guys.
He's distraught. Look at him. And to be fair, Doug, he's really only doing this because Dave's not here. So he needs a target of some kind, and your name starts with the same letter. Congratulations.
Yeah. See, I would do it to Michaela, but
needs
she
a
agreed with
punching
me.
bag.
Michaela agreed with me too much, so...
She knows how to avoid the shrapnel.
Just a little bit ago, Shaun's like, "Why is everybody mean to Doug?" And now here we are.
It's like the guy who puts the stick in his own bike spoke and then falls over. Why does this keep happening? Number 20 is from the same game as number 21. And you can argue that if that was not the standout track and the most recognizable from the game, then surely Terra's theme has to fit that profile.
Oh, yeah.
Because in addition to just being her theme, and she is the protagonist, kind of, as much as anyone in this game can be, but it's also just the overworld theme. And again, kind of to touch on the themes we mentioned earlier, it has that the touch of wistfulness to it. I think that's the instrumentation choice, but just in general, again, it's got the undercurrent of hope to it. It's one of my favorite overworld themes. It was on my list as the first one that got 4 of the 5 of us to vote for it. Nobody had it super high, but still it's enough to put it on this next tier that all the songs that this level and above are going to have to meet.
I wouldn't say it's a hot take because you can't tell me what makes me nostalgic, right? Fuck you, it's my nostalgia. I don't know if there's a song in my life that brings more nostalgia than this song. Where I was in my life, how much I loved this game, what impact it made when I played it. This represents 6 completely. It represents this time in my life. I just love it. I love everything about it. And it, given the first chance, as an example, in 14, you can make this a song. Well, you actually can't. I use this mount because it plays this song. That's the only reason. It just means so much to me this day still. It's absolutely beautiful.
I have a similar story with 9. Like, I imagine if 6 was the first one that I played, then Terra's theme would be the thing. But for me, with 9, I liked the overworld theme that was basically they used the melody from Melodies of Life.
Yep.
No.
So, yeah. I'm right there with you on the Terra's theme, and I definitely associate Terra's theme more with Final Fantasy VI than any other song.
And it's not even the only good overworld theme in this game. Searching for Friends is also great. It's not on our list. Spoiler. Nobody voted for it. Made my first cut, but there's just too many good ones. But the point is, to me, 6 has the best soundtrack top to bottom. There are other games that have more standout stuff, and again, it's kind of hard to compare them nowadays to the past, because all of us love like 14 and or 15. What they did with what they had back then is a absolute standout achievement. It is remarkable. This and Chrono Trigger, how good all the songs are.
I don't know if I'm going to articulate this right. There's a certain grittiness to the art design of 6 that really makes it stand out from any other Final Fantasy and a lot of other games at that time. And the music, reflects that. It's not just kind of upbeat and fun. It's kind of sad. It's kind of mournful while you still get that hope. It's a little wistful, like you said. And it's just this perfect fusion of visuals and music and story and all of that. It's just incredible.
It's also impressive that this is a MIDI soundtrack, but you can hear how this could be easily translated into an orchestral version because they are so smart with how they do the instrumentation. You can hear what's supposed to be drums and the flute, and it's beautiful. It creates such a beautiful melody, and this theme is fantastic. I love this theme so much.
It's probably Nobuo's biggest achievement, honestly, is that he was so far ahead of the game composing-wise, and he's not the only person. I mean, there's plenty of others back then, Mitsuda, Shimomura. There's others who are ahead of the curve as well, but it's yes, he's had to adapt these for Distant Worlds, for the Black Mages, etc., but the core of the music, like you said, has been there from the start. And sure, maybe sometimes he just ripped off Swan Lake in Final Fantasy II, but that's not the point. Most of the time, his original compositions are amazingly ahead of their time.
And here's a hot take for you. I don't know how much of a fan I am of his overall. I voted. I think 5 is the earliest I voted for in the entire list, and only 1. But man, when he nails it, he really nails it for me.
It's probably because right about 5 is when he started really getting into the groove of things as far as music-wise, because it took him until I think it was Final Fantasy 3 to even include drums in his music. So this is probably 5 and onward is probably where he really hit his stride.
That's cool.
Yeah, you're probably right about that.
He was gaining
I
confidence.
I actually think that I wouldn't say 5. I would say 4. There's a lot of good stuff in 4.
I kind of agree,
absolutely.
but between 4 through 6 is a noticeable jump from 1 to 3.
Oh yeah.
Like there's no doubt about that. And again, whether you have a different favorite among those, like you can tell just from 3, which I don't think has a ton of standout songs. Man, it took off from there.